Welcome to the Blind Apex Podcast, where amateur club racers tune in to get faster.
On this episode, we're talking Hillclimbs, what they are, what it takes to compete in them. I'm your host, Con John Turk, and joining me is a K-Swap BRZ driver, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't narrow it down for anybody. Let's see. He wasn't satisfied with VTEC, so he supercharged it. I've seen that. That seems ridiculous to me. And you have a rear fender exit exhaust. That we're going to talk about that later. Seth Monteleone. Is that how you say your last name?
Yeah, close enough.
Close enough. I'm good at butchering it. Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so tell the listeners about your background in motorsports for me.
Yeah, I guess I grew up with a brother who has been obsessed with racing and drag racing specifically, and Fords and Mustangs my whole life. He's 7 years older than me. He runs a shop, like a general automotive shop in Dallas, North Carolina. So I've always kind of been on the background of that, going to drag strip with him on Friday nights or test and tune. And he's traveled all over the country racing his Mustang and stuff like that. And I guess, grew up with Gran Turismo, and that was always something that I enjoyed doing. I won a video game racing competition when I was, right out of high school or something like that. I had 2 kids, grew up a little bit, finally got a good job, bought a FRS, BRZ, whatever you want to call it. When they first came out, told myself I was going to learn how to drive and work on cars myself, and I played with that for a couple of years, did some autocrossing, tried to mod it. Then I guess I finally paid it off and got a job working from home, and didn't need a daily anymore. So I took it off the streets, mostly stripped it down, put a half cage in it, got it welded in, just drove it for a while, did some HPDEs, mostly with the SCCA Track Night in America stuff. Did that for a couple years, and then tried to start building the car a little bit more serious. Got supercharger put on it with the FA20. Put a wing on it. Just getting more into learning how to build a race car, kind of. And then I guess K-Power Industries finally released the K-Swap kit for the BRZ, and had some money saved up, so decided to drop the money on that. And the whole time, I guess, I told my brother a long time ago, I was like, I really like the idea of Pikes Peak. That's like, to me, the ultimate goal. And if I could do that one day, and everybody kind of snickered at me. But I saw, on Facebook, there was some people doing hill climbing stuff relatively close to me. It was, Chasing the Dragon, I guess, was the first one I heard about. It's kind of on the western end of North Carolina. This was 2001 or so. They've been doing that hill climb for 17 years now, I believe.
Yeah, it's been going on a long time. Even I know about it.
Yeah. And there's been some other hill climbs in North Carolina, like the Chimney Rock hill climb. They don't do it any longer. I can't remember what year they stopped it, but that was, I guess, kind of historic. Like, I've seen pictures back in the 80s and 90s of them running that one. But anyway, yeah, I guess just trying to get into time trials and stuff like that with NASA. And I don't know, not really fitting in with my schedule. I can't really do much stuff on the weekends. So, yeah, mainly stuck to HPDE for a long time. Just because I could get out in the middle of the week and go do stuff. But the hill climb was really my first competitive motorsport stuff that I really got serious about and stepped into.
Yeah. I mean, is Pikes Peak still a goal of yours?
Yeah, totally. That's
awesome. I don't know many people who don't know about the Pikes Peak hill climb. I guess most of us don't realize that hill climbs happen all around. They happen in every state essentially. So yeah, I mean, it's awesome that that's still a goal of yours. When are you trying to take your FRS out there? Do you have a?
It's really just about money at this point.
It's always about money.
I got the card that can do it, I believe. I just need to find the time and money to do it. I've heard it costs several thousands of dollars just to run the event.
Yeah, and then you got a tow out there, and there's a lot involved logistically with that. So
yeah, there's a few people in our series that have run it.
Oh, really? You should see if anybody's got a big enough trailer to haul you out there too, and just tag along.
Well, you have to, from my understanding, you have to apply. Like, you can't just go do it.
Okay.
There's an application and a board that selects who's going to run. And so you can't just go do it.
So you have to get your hill climbing cred in before you can go do the big Pikes Peak run.
Yeah, I'm not sure how exactly they selected, but I guess I'll find that out eventually.
Yeah, you might as well start inquiring now, so you know you know what you got to do next, along with saving money.
Yeah. I know I wouldn't be competitive or anything, but just to be able to say that that's something that I did and worked towards with something I built in my garage just to make it to the top. I mean, yeah. It's like a bucket list thing, I guess.
So let's talk about your car a little bit more. So it was supercharged with the FRS BRZ stock engine. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had it supercharged. I don't know, probably ran 5,000 track miles or something like that with the engine, the FA20 with like 120,000 miles on it, boosted. And I guess it eventually started going through rings and started smoking, as you can imagine.
So, but that drove you to a Honda VTEC engine. Why?
Yeah,
why didn't you just buy another, or have one built? Have an engine built.
I looked down that rabbit hole. It's the motors. They're not bad motors necessarily, but once you start, going to the extremes of driving them on the track and putting boost through them, there's just I think it's just the oiling issues start to creep up. There's a shop up in Virginia that has spent a lot of time and money invested in the FA20s, and I think it's taken them a long time to get them to where they're actually reliable on track. So I just kind of wanted to press the easy button. K-Power had just come out with their kit to put one straight in the car. Go to the junkyard, $1,000 versus $4,000 for a used FA20.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it was more expensive up front to do the K swap, but looking at just the ease of getting another motor if I needed to, the aftermarket support for the Honda stuff. I mean, it's all been laid out in front of me, really. I mean,
it's well established.
It seemed like the potential for the K series is just miles ahead of where the FA20 is, or it seemed like where it would ever be. I mean, you look at the winner for Pikes Peak. He's running a K series.
Oh, is that in the 8th gen Civic?
No, the Robin Shoot, he's got like some crazy wolf chassis open wheel
Oh yeah. Okay.
thing with the K20 and all the boost. Yeah, it just proves right there that the Honda motors can do just about anything.
Yeah, but you guys are using up all my engines, so. But
Well, they're just making new ones now, right? You just go get a billet block.
oh, I don't know about all that. That's not in my rules, so I don't even look at that kind of stuff. I like shiny objects, but when they're not in my rules, I don't even look at them because I get tempted. So,
Well, they got companies making iron casts of like 2JZs and stuff too, right? So
yeah, I mean, when there's a demand, there's somebody will make it, right? So,
yeah.
And I got to ask about this fender exit exhaust. It's not in the front; it's in the back, right?
Yeah, the exhaust kind of comes out on the passenger side, I guess quarter panel right in front of the rear wheel. It was mainly because the exhaust has to exit behind the driver according to the rules, and I have a flat floor under the car, going to a diffuser, and it's always just been kind of a pain trying to incorporate all that with the exhaust. So this year we took out the stock fuel cell and put a radium fuel tank in the back of the car, and kind of in its place, kind of routed the exhaust up through the middle of the tunnel and out where the fuel cell was through the cabin of the car. And then I just dumped it right there in the quarter panel.
Oh, you should. That's got to get warm in there, doesn't it? Or is it all wrapped up? I mean, I'd hope it's wrapped up anyway, but
it has some heat protection on it, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
If I was really using the car a lot for like track duty, it would be an issue. But 2-minute runs up the mountain, it's not unbearable.
Okay. So, can you tell me exactly what a hill climb is?
Yeah, essentially it's it's a single car race time trial kind of setting up a mountain road. Usually it's I don't know if you technically have to have an incline because there are sections of the road that are not inclined, but it's usually on a public road that we have to get permission from the road owners to use. There are some on private property, but it's more rare, I guess. Yes, it's basically like a time trial setting, one car at a time. Or I guess it'd be more close to an autocross setting. You have a start. You start standing still, like a dig from a drag racing term. And then they give you the go-ahead, and you cross the timing lights. You make your run as fast as you can up to the top, cross the corresponding set of timing lights, and that's your time.
Okay. I was going to get into this question a little later, but it sounds like we do standing starts in Honda Challenge, so we enjoy it because it brings some of that drag race, teenagers at a traffic light kind of thing. Yeah. But then it sounds like the course layout is more like an autocross, and in sort of like autocross, and time trials, it's all a clock management issue. That's what you guys are aiming for, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One car at a time, so it's not like, Fast and the Furious or anything up the mountain road.
Yeah. So in high school, I had a problem getting tickets, and my parents got me into time speed rally. And some of those guys were former hill climbers. And all that is sort of, we're on public roads, but they're not closed, and you're just supposed to do the speed limit over a certain time, and accuracy is your friend. So
yeah, So you got oncoming traffic that you have to
Yeah,
be
and
cognizant of.
you have to account for your time every time you stop. So if it was like a 2 miles and the road said 35 miles an hour, you have to do 35 miles an hour for 2 miles. But if you come to a stop because there's a stop sign and you legally have to stop, that's not accounted in your time. So then you have to start working the math on how much time you're going to claim back. It's a weird thing, but it occurred sort of where I think you guys do it on these back country-ish roads, right? So you guys aren't normally, you're not closing down major highways. You're literally doing this on 2-lane roads somewhere in the back country, some like of your state or every state, really. Is that where?
Yeah, the series I run is the SCCA Appalachian Hill Climb Series. So naturally, all the events are in the Appalachian Mountains. Right now, this past year just finished. We just wrapped our season finale up last weekend, and right now we have 4 events. One of them is in Pine Mountain, Kentucky. The other's Chasing the Dragon, which is in Robbinsville, North Carolina, right beside the Tail of the Dragon. It's not on the Tail of the Dragon. A lot of people get confused with that. It's in the same vicinity. And then the other 2 are in Northern Virginia, which is a really cool road straight up the mountain. They have like a flag rock monument up there, and you got to go check out videos of this road. It's just insane how curvy and technical it is.
Okay, where is it? Because I live in Northern Virginia, in the countryside of Northern Virginia. So you name names.
It's closer to kind of where Virginia, North Carolina, and West Virginia, Kentucky, and all kind of all converge right there in that little corner.
Yeah, I'm not near there, but I travel through there sometimes. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's a little town tucked in the hills of Virginia.
Okay, awesome. So you said you do SCCA. Do you know of any other organizations that are hosting hill climbs?
Yeah, on the East Coast that I know of, there's the Pennsylvania Hill Climb Association. They're all in Pennsylvania. I can't speak to how the organization is set up. I've never run with them, but they have a lot of hill climbs. It's a lot of the same people come between our events and their events. Great people. I know there's Colorado has their own hill climb association, and then there's I'll hear about all these hill climbs just randomly throughout the country that don't seem to be associated with any major motorsports organization that they've been doing it for 50 years or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that pops up a lot because there's a lot of traditional, let's go at this road, let's race this road. They've been doing these kinds of things for a long time. So
yeah, the Pennsylvania Hill Climb Association, they have a event that's been going on over 100 years, I believe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were probably racing up there with horses first, but
I think they have some event where they turn around and coast down the hill too.
Oh, that's wild. So you motor up the hill and then you turn around and then coast down?
I think it's with different types of vehicles, but
oh, okay. That's still wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, it's very storied. There's a lot of history to this stuff. And I think that's one of the big things about hill climbing that you don't necessarily get with track stuff is just the history of it. We'll have competitors at some of the events. They'll you start talking to them, some older guys or something like that, and they'll start telling you stories about 20, 30 years ago when they were there with their buddies and what they were doing with their cars back then. You see pictures, and I know some tracks have been around that long, but you don't get it too often.
Yeah, only the most historic tracks have been around since World War II, essentially. Pre-World War II tracks are pretty rare. And what it sounds like to me is your hill climb series had 4 events, right?
Yeah.
That's much easier for someone to stomach than 8 events, right? So you race Honda Challenge in the Mid-Atlantic, you're going to have 7 or 8 events with races at all of them. And if you want to win the series, you have to be at all of them, basically. So even in harder times, this type of series could survive because the count is lower. You're preparing a car for 4 events, not 8 events. It's half as much work. There's twice as much time in between events, maybe.
And you run your car more.
Yeah, and we put a lot of time on our car every weekend.
Yeah.
So at one of these events, how many passes up the mountain do you get?
Generally, we'll do about 6 a day.
And how many days are you guys out there?
The way it normally goes is you get up and you leave, at least for me, because I'm relatively close. I leave on Friday morning, and we'll get to the paddock, wherever it is, and set up. And almost all the events that are hosted in these towns, they'll have like festivals on Friday night. And, the police will escort all the race cars down into the little towns, and we'll set up the race cars and like on Main Street, and they'll have bands playing, and, the local restaurant with the bars, you can go in and get a beer and walk around, and just celebrating the whole event. And what it brings to these little towns is tourism and money and getting the name out. So that's a big part of this is the tourism that we bring to these towns and getting their name out there and what they offer. So, in exchange, they let us use their roads. And then Saturday morning we'll wake up and have a typical driver's meeting and start racing usually about 8:39. They'll split everybody up into different groups based on your class, and you start going up the hill. And assuming everything goes well and there aren't any incidents and everybody's smooth and fast, then we'll get six runs per day, maybe more if things good. And then you kind of break down for the evening and then start doing it all over again on Sunday. And then we'll have award ceremonies at the end of the day on Sunday, and then everybody gets out.
So you mentioned paddock. We're not talking about the Lowe's on the north side of town. You sent me a picture. What is the paddock area for you guys?
Yeah, like at Chasing the Dragon, the picture I sent you, and our paddock it's first come, first serve. The paddock is the road that we're racing on, essentially, like the lower section of the road. So, you got 8 feet of grass off to the side of the road where you can pull your car out of your trailer, and you're in a ditch sometimes. You kind of got to set up your stuff and kind of halfway in the road, halfway in the grass, and hopefully, the local DOT mowed that section of the road before you come, so you're not in the weeds. And if you need to get to the starting line, you have to get in your car or walk, I don't know, quarter of a mile or more to the starting line, depending on how early you got there. But yeah, it's not like the paddock at VIR or anything. Like it's kind of what adds to the whole adventure of the hill climb. Is just this is your paddock, is this ditch on the side of a road, on the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
But, other events, it's nice at Norton because they let us use this whole side street next to the train tracks as a paddock space. So they shut down that road to local traffic, and it's nice and flat. But there we have to get a police escort between every run. The police escort the race cars to the starting line, which is about a mile away. So, yeah, it's like every hill climb has its little logistical challenges that kind of add to it.
Yeah, that's interesting. But it's got to be part of the fun. It's part of the culture, right? You were talking about going into town, them having, you guys basically set up in a car show. I'm sure other people bring out their cars or whatever, and everybody's out there to have a good time. What's spectating a hill climb like?
Yeah, it's definitely, you can't just sit in one spot and get a visual of the whole course, or even part of the course. I mean, it's kind of hard. It's one of the challenges I think that makes hill climbing kind of lesser known, is because it's hard to spectate. Usually everybody kind of gathers around the starting area and watch the cars go one at a time. Most of the events have spectator areas where between sessions they'll have like a bus or a shuttle that runs people up and down to the spectator area, which is usually like halfway or something like that. So you might have 2 or 3 spots where you can spectate from on the course. And we have workers all along the course. Different stations. Usually they're set up at major turns. Something happens, they, radio up, get a wrecker or whatever's needed, clear the course, make sure anybody's okay if they have a mechanical issue. So there's a lot of shuttles going up and down. The event workers usually get like the best, shots on video throughout the weekend. And then we also have our dedicated photographers on the hill, but that's a whole nother logistical challenge. It's like, that's a workout. It's trying to do photography for a hill climb all weekend. It's like running up and down the mountain, trying to get different angles between every session. Yeah,
you're definitely getting your steps in at altitude.
Yeah, shout out to Guesswork Photography for that. He does a great job.
And I'm sure he's in shape. So you've talked a little bit about your car. What kind of car, what prep level do you need to go do a hill climb?
I guess the bare minimum, you have to have a roll bar. You need
so like
some
a
type
4
of
point?
hoop. Yeah.
Okay.
It's easy for the Miata guys. They can just bolt one in. But the bare minimum for car prep is a roll bar, fire extinguisher. You have to wear arm restraints in case of a rollover if you don't have a window net. Typical stuff that goes along with the roll bars, your harness and you need a fixed seat. So, it's not like you can just take your daily driver Honda Civic out there and just, start racing. It's a little bit prep work, but I guess it's beyond that. It's just how fast you want to go.
Yeah. It doesn't, as far as the prep safety aspect, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot that needs to go into it outside of what most people, when they're intermediate advanced HPDE person, have already done to their car. I don't know very many guys and gals that don't have roll bars and harnesses and fixed back seats by the time they're in an advanced group. Once you get there, I mean, unless it's a brand new Vet or, Porsche or something, I get that, right? But generally speaking, yeah. So that's not too bad. Now, I don't personally think I would do that. The stuff, the areas that I see the pictures and videos from, I need a rally cage because y'all are going fast and there's trees everywhere.
Yeah, there are definitely trees everywhere. Yeah, it's not exact in Appalachia. It's not like Pikes Peak, where you're 14,000 feet above sea level. There are a lot of things to suddenly stop you.
Yeah, but Pikes Peak has its own thing where you tumble down 2,000 feet of elevation.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, at least you're like dissipating energy unless you hit a rock or something.
yeah.
Yeah, it's scary either way.
Yeah. I would prefer more safety equipment in all things than less.
Yeah.
But okay, that's interesting that it's just a roll bar is required. So
Yeah, I ran a roll bar, my first season and feeling things out, and then that winter after the first season, we cut that out and put a full cage in it.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's smart because once you commit to something like that, you need to commit to all aspects to include safety. So
Yeah.
And then you talked about classing and all the different organizations, but apparently the classing, I won't say that classing is universal, but they share enough that people are able to go in between clubs and organizations. But what's the typical classing structure look like in Hillclimbs?
It's borrowed a lot from the SECA autocross, which is confusing to me. But they've tried to simplify it down to where there's like a sport category and a modified category. And then inside of sport, there's, I can't remember, 3 or 4 different sport levels. And under modified, there's 3 or 4 different modified levels up to unlimited. And then there's also classes for open wheel cars. But generally, once you get to the higher levels, it comes down to tires.
Okay. So what kind of tires are you guys running?
Most people run A7s.
Okay. Purple crack.
Modified, yeah. On modified unlimited, you can run non-DOT slicks, but I think most people just stick to the A7s because they're easier to get. How they perform, they're generally just pretty good anyway. But I guess one of the big challenges is getting heat in tires. It's just, you got to start with everything cold. And if you got some kind of, real race like that needs heat in it, and we can't use tire warmers in this series. So I don't know, it feels like it's just safer just to stick with the A7s because, when they come on. And I don't know if I would trust that first turn with some motorsport slicks.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You have to think of the debris that could be in the road. I don't think you guys have enough infrastructure to where you're sending, the jet blower out there like NASCAR would to blow off the track before the race. So there's going to be.
No, we have a tractor. I've seen them use a tractor to like kind of scrub everything off before everybody starts running, but it's definitely not in between every run.
Right. So things are going to build up. Things fall out of the trees. I mean, leaves, acorns, whatever comes out of the trees. The wind blows. It blows more stuff onto
somebody went off and shot a stick into the middle of the road and none of the corner workers saw it, then you got a stick in the road.
Right.
Don't hit it.
Yeah. So, what kind of preparation do you guys do for these events? I'm assuming you can't, do you just drive down to the town and where the course is and you take your personal car and map it out, or do you Google map it? What are you guys doing for that?
As far as like the competitors, what they're doing?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess if your rookie season or the first time you're at a hill climb, it's just you kind of got to get into that mental space of you're just there to scout it out and slowly ramp up how fast you're driving because there's a lot on the line. There's the risks are kind of higher. So I think, most of the fast guys, they've been doing it a couple years. They've been to the same event. They know the course. You can, get a few scouting runs the night before the event, but I don't know how much it actually helps. I think just knowing the course and having experience with it is really the most you can do. I know some guys, they'll drive up to the event, the course, like in the off season or something, might play around. It's a public road, so you got to drive the speed limit, right? But
yeah, at your own
still
risk.
drive the course when nobody's around. So yeah, but that's a whole different experience. But yeah, I think most of the preparation, once you're done prepping the cars, it's about mental preparation, at least for me. Getting into the right headspace, trying to focus on thinking about the course, memorizing the turns, just that focus of where the course is going, how you're going to perform, where you're braking, where you're turning. It's easy to get lost on some of these courses. You think you're in one turn and you're in another turn, and so you got to adjust there. But I think that's really what kind of separates hill climb from a lot of other sports is just like the mental aspect. Just getting out of your head so you're not constantly thinking about hitting a tree and focusing. It's just, other than like rock climbing, I don't know if I've ever experienced like something that makes me focus like this.
Yeah, that's actually a really good highlighted skill set in that you really have to be focused. When you're on a road course, Sebring, VIR, Road Atlanta, wherever, what the next corner is. You may not be set up right for it, but you know what's coming.
Yeah.
And you have to learn your course, but then you have to be in the right frame of mind to accept what's coming. And then you have to have those quick reaction times, I think, to react to what actually is in front of you. Because you can know it's a left-hander, but maybe you're 2 feet off where you need to be in the grand scheme of things. You still got to muscle your way through that corner. So there's a lot of car control, I think, that in hill climb that I don't think it gets highlighted with a lot of other motorsports. I
remember.
Go ahead.
I was going to say my first hill climb, I remember trying to take the turns like I would take at a track. Go in, hit the apex, and kind of track out to the outside of the turn, and like traditional turn, and just it wasn't working. I was like having issues with the wheel spin, and it just the car felt slow or trying to slide, and then it's just like, this isn't a track. This is it's like an obstacle. So you have to. Everyone is different. You have to figure it out.
Yeah, and you're going to be running different combinations. Yeah, it's a left, right, left, but everything's changing and evolving for you. So I think it takes a lot of skill behind the wheel, and then you're right, that clarity, because there's lots of things passing. You talked about room for error. We talked about this before we started recording, but there's no runoff room. When you drive down the road, the stuff that you see on the side of the road, especially when you're out in the country, look on the side of the road. That's the stuff that you have to deal with. But from what you're telling me, you got to block all that out because you have to focus on placement and car control to get things around the corners as fast as possible.
Yeah, you don't have time to worry about hitting a tree. Because once you have time to worry about that, it's already too late.
Yeah, things are past you. They always tell you, look where you want to go, not where you don't want to go. So if you're looking at that
absolutely.
tree, you're going to end up there. So don't do that. All right. So we talked a little bit about the driver's skill. What kind of mechanical skill do you think you need? You've put a flat aero system on your car, like the flat bottom aero, diffuser, all that stuff. Do you homebrew that stuff yourself for your class?
Yeah, for the most part, done almost everything myself in my garage, but taking advice from people I trust. But I guess it really depends on how fast you want to go, because you can take a car with just some brake pads and brake fluid and enter and possibly be competitive based on what other people have brought. But I guess I'm normally let's see. I'm in the modified unlimited class, which is supposed to be like one of the fastest, if not the fastest, production class. Although it doesn't always work that way.
Right.
I mean, when you're at the hill climb and something goes wrong, if you didn't bring a spare or the tool you need, then you got to improvise there or go ask somebody. We had the exhaust crack and kind of was dangling off an event last year. I had to go into town and like find somebody that had a welder. We found like some random exhaust shop or something that was still open on a Saturday night, and the guy welded my exhaust back together. We had to put it back on under the car while it was raining.
Nice.
There's some crazy cars that show up at these hill climbs. Like the guy that holds the diesel record at Pikes Peak. He was at one of the events.
Is that the guy with the pickup truck?
No, he's got a little Radical.
Oh, okay.
With a Volkswagen 3-turbo
TDI setup.
Yeah. He just took the record this past year.
So it sounds to me like you need to be a shade tree mechanic, a master shade tree mechanic, but also you guys are doing your own engineering. How many FRSs are competing in your group?
I'll be lucky if I see one other show up at a hill climb.
Right. So to me, you're sort of on your own. You're figuring out how to get your car to turn at that event. You're figuring out what to do, what the car is doing, how to optimize it. You can research on the internet. You can see what other people are doing. But the dynamics of the road that you're on are different, right? The guys that are running at Road Atlanta, now they have off-camber turns, but you're more likely to be off-camber exiting in a street turn than you are on a track, right? Every track's got one, I think, but you guys have to deal with a lot of that stuff. So the same aero principles won't necessarily apply. They should apply, but they won't be maximized everywhere, where those guys are maximizing their aero for pretty predictable, consistent roads. Well, racetracks, where you guys are on roads that aren't consistent or predictable. And heck, one year they could repave that road and put a different crown on it, and then you're hosed, right? So there's a lot that goes into these, and a lot more unpredictable. It's sort of like a super autocross with a lot of high consequence.
Super autocross.
It feels that way, right? But then there's a lot more on the line and a lot more changes, right? These guys that do the autocross, they go to the same parking lots. Well, that parking lot's probably not going to get repaved. And if it does get repaved, they already know about it. They've known about it forever, But
Yeah.
you guys are going, I'm sure you guys do different sections of the same road, or maybe the same sections of the same road. I don't know. But you guys, to me, it feels like you're on your own when you're out there, and you got to figure everything out yourself, whether you're fixing the car or driving the car. And it seems like a very interesting motorsports discipline. So,
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the keys for me is taking the GoPro and in between sessions, watching the GoPro footage. You might have 30 minutes to an hour between sessions. So, if you can sit down and review your GoPro footage and see where you went fast, where you went slow, and be able to analyze your driving that quickly and then make adjustments. It's, if you can do that well, then you're going to probably win, or at least be very fast.
So this is interesting to me. So you use GoPro only. Do you have data behind you? Is there data that supports hill climbs, like AIM or Garmin or any of that stuff?
You can use an AIM for GPS uses, I guess, but there's no track overlay that tells you, you're faster in this section than you were before or anything like that. So, I mean, and even if you did, I don't know if you'd have time to analyze it in the midst of it. Maybe overnight between Saturday and Sunday, you could sit down with that more. But yeah, I guess if you used your GPS data to kind of look at, I was, 2 miles an hour faster through this turn than I was before taking this line, then yeah, I mean, that could be useful.
Yeah. I think the new Smarty Cam from AIM can have the GPS plugged into it. Actually, there's a new one, so I'm sure that one will do it, because I think the old one did it. But you can hook up the GPS, the AIM GPS to it. It will do your GPS speed overlay onto your AIM Smarty Cam, and then you can look at it that way. But outside of that, I don't think there's anything necessarily supporting hill climbs, right? Because you don't know where the start is. You can't define that. You can't define the end, so overlaying would be a little difficult, I think.
Yeah, and if you have a listener out there that has an idea of how to do that, maybe, then I'm all ears, because that would be awesome if we did.
Yeah, I'm sure there's somebody that knows something. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So, anything else that we need to cover about hill climbs?
I'm sure there is.
I mean, I sort of ran out, but I don't know that much about hill climbs. I'm not blind about them, but I don't know much, So.
Yeah. I guess this was the first year that we've had a series where there's a points championship. So that was kind of interesting to see the strategy go into that a little bit more this year. We had 4 events. You can drop one and get so many points for first, so many for second. Starting to get the attention of some major sponsors like Summit Racing and Grassroots Motorsports, and it's just it seems like it's only growing. Hoping next year it'll be even bigger. We usually get about 40 to 70 cars show up to an event.
Okay.
I probably hear people say this about other motorsports, but it really is. Feels like a family. It's usually the same people that show up every event, and everybody's helping each other. We at Norton, we have a big karaoke thing that we go to in town. just hang out and we really try to just take it all in and have fun, and with the people that we like hanging out with.
So I have a left field flyer question because it just sort of came to me. Where are you guys sleeping? Are you guys sleeping like in your trucks on the side of the road, in your trailers? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
I'm fortunate enough that my brother has a 1994 Holiday Rambler RV that we tow the car with and everything. So we usually take the RV when the course allows it and sleep there. But sometimes we'll get an Airbnb. A lot of people sleep in the trailers.
Okay.
A lot of people just camp out.
Your paddock is on the side of the road. I'm not sure I would be leaving my race car there. So, Yeah,
fortunately we have like one of the local deputies come out and like stake out the entrance to the road. So they know who's coming in and who's going. But we did actually have an incident at the first event overnight where one of the generators got stolen and somebody cut the timing light or the fiber optic they run.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, but the workers and the event staff got that sorted out pretty quickly. Wasn't really a hiccup.
Well, that's good.
That's the only time I've seen something like that happen. But
that's it. It's weird. Weird stuff can happen anywhere, but the environment that you guys are in, I would think that it'd be much closer knit. People would leave you guys alone, but it doesn't seem like it happens that often. So
yeah, it's the only time I've ever seen anything like that happen. It was strange.
Awesome. Well,
it's I guess the elephant in the room is incidents happen. When they do, it's usually if it's not too bad, hopefully everybody's okay, and everybody will work together to get the driver back on the road if something can be fixed. We had a competitor this year. He actually went off into the woods and managed to pull him out, and he ran the next day. Like I think they were in the paddock, like hammering something straight until like 1 a.m. or something. He got all those runs, I think, the next day.
Oh wow, that's wild. When you end up in the trees and you're out there beating it straight just so you can run again the next day, that's dedication.
Yeah, for sure. There's some dedicated people.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. I really want you to send me the schedule because I'd love to come spectate. I want to come watch this happen. I even come down on Friday and sort of hang out like the whole weekend because it just sounds interesting to me, and the whole culture around it. I want to see all that, So
yeah, for sure. You got to come to the festivals on Friday night and hang out.
Yeah. So if anybody has ideas on how he can get data, where can they contact you?
So you can find me on Instagram, probably the easiest way. I'm Mount_Telly_Lion.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show, man. I appreciate you listening. For those that don't know, he was a listener. He hit me up and asked for stickers. They got on the car, and then, I don't know, months later, you were like, hey, you want to talk about Hillclimbs? And I was like, heck yeah, let's do it. And I really appreciate that. I appreciate the engagement of listeners and them being willing to share about their passions. So appreciate it, man.
Yeah. I put your sticker on the car, and now I'm tied for championship points in my class. So, I mean, if I hadn't put your sticker on the car, I don't know if I would have gone as fast as I did.
It's that extra cheater horsepower. They're like 5 apiece. So I'll send you some more, push you over the top.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
Until next time, keep working on yourself. Keep working on the car. and let's get faster.